assemble a survival kit from just what you have in your junk drawer. Let's see what we got. Matches, those are good. It's a Boy Scout knife, okay. Ranger band, okay, that'll work. Paper clips, I could do something with that. Some cord, something to put them in. What is this? All right, fine, that'll work. Hair tie, okay. Light, okay. Does it work? It works. Ah, candles. Perfect. Now we can take on the world. With the storm, fight through the flame. We'll carve our saga, they'll sing our names. Citizen scholars and friendly knights everywhere. Tech Nerd on the scene for you today. For this week's project video, I have something a little interesting, something I'd like to challenge the community with. And this is for something I'm calling the Scavenger build. Scavenger build is something similar to a survival rifle. In fact, it really is a survival rifle, but kind of a specific sort of that, and with some interesting rules. Everyone on YouTube wants to show you how to build a survival rifle by opening up a catalog and spending thousands of quatlus on premium parts, extra special rifles made for landing in the middle of the Sahara from a jet plane or a Zeppelin or whatever. This is not that. This is an everyman's rifle. This is scavenging what you have and keeping to affordability. So this is what we're doing today. This is sort of the exact opposite of that. What we're building is a true scavenger rifle. And the rules for building this are kind of strict. To qualify for this project, has to pass 3 distinct bench commandments. All right, so first off, we're going to get into this, and then we'll get into the rifle itself and show you what I've done, and we're going to challenge you to do the same. Rule number 1, net zero cost rule. No wallets allowed for this project. No credit cards, no trip to the store. Everything used to equip this rifle must be raided from the junk drawer, repurposed from your bench, raided from the garage. It's got to be something you already have to keep this to a 0 quatlu. Number 2 rule is the core ecosystem rule. All right, and that's sounds a little bit weird, but basically that's the survival rifle part of it. The rifle has to be, or whatever other firearm, the item in question has to be survival-esque. All right. So now we're not saying that you have to be able to go out there and bring a 3-course meal with this. I'm not including any food or anything with this, but it has to do the basics, which is basically just fire, light, and tool. All right. So the rifle has to be completely self-sufficient and self-contained, and it must host its own onboard survival equipment. Okay, which you can see we've already got set up right here. Last rule is, I like to call it the working man's rule. All right. So we're not doing this with a pristine safe queen, a rare collectible, or something we just bought. Okay. If you want to go out there and buy a brand new Henry survival rifle, that's you. But that is not what the scavenger rifle is. This is something that you already have that you're making use of, and it's got to be something that can get knocked around, scratched, dinged. Let's get to the bench and see what we have. Okay, phase 2. So first off, I'll tell you what this is. This is essentially a Glenfield Model 60. It's a Marlin Glenfield Model 60, and I have it in this interesting looking, early 2000s stock that I have here. Now, I bought this stock quite a while ago. I bought the stock and this front sight for a different rifle, for my 795. Problem is, I wanted to do a camo job on the stock. I did one, I hated it. Then I tried it again with Plasti Dip, hated that even more. Ended up stripping it, looked terrible. So I kind of just figured, well, I got to do something with it. And that's sort of what brought on this project. So I just repainted it black and left it. But I have another 60, sort of. We'll get into that in another video. Plus, my Model 60, the tang broke off, the rear tang for the trigger group. Now, it'll still work in this one. It works actually quite well, and it's not affecting it at all. So that's another reason why we can use this rifle. Also, one of the other commandments for this is the ecosystem part of it, the survival part of it. We want to keep these. The Scavenger build has to be something, again, completely self-contained, so that the sighting system, I don't believe, should be just iron sights. Okay. Now I have put this, it does have this fiber optic sight on it, because again, I had that. But the reason I believe it should be kept to iron sights is because I don't want anything on this that is A, going to need batteries, B, that's going to break, or C, that for some reason breaks down and I can't use. Iron sights is pretty much going to keep me where I need to be, and I can pretty much always find a way to aim with those. All right. So that is why we ended up choosing this stock and this rifle. Okay, the other thing about this rifle is that it's got to be set up so that it's usable. Okay, so when you shoulder this and when you use it, you can't have too much stuff sticking out of here or dangling or making a lot of noise. All right, so now this case, which we'll get into in a minute, it does have this zipper here, which I've kind of just stuffed in here right now, but we can put tape over that. But it's got to be fairly quiet, and you can see all the stuff in there is pretty quiet. Same with the front end. Plus, as you aim with this isn't going to get in the way too much. It's fairly small. We've also got this sling on here. That's your kind of old 2000s sort of survival rifle video paracord sling, which is going to get you some cordage if you need it. So that is the setup of the rifle. Okay, and obviously this is in 22 caliber. Again, something pretty easy for you to find ammo for. It's the survival rifleist's choice, sort of, but what you end up choosing is going to be you, and let's take a moment for that, and let's do the call to action. So I'm going to leave a pinned comment down below. I want you to tell me, what is your choice for a Scavenger rifle? What have you got hanging around that you're going to use? I think some of the other things people are obviously going to say are shotguns, probably 12, 20 gauge, maybe even a 410 that you might have in the garage hanging up somewhere. Tell me what you're going to use, what you're going to outfit it with, what's in your junk drawer, and hey, make a video about it and leave it linked here if you've got something you want to show. All right, let's get back to the video with phase. Everyone, let's go to phase 3 and let's talk a little bit about what we've got in here and the theory behind it. So, and I think you'll see from the little cold open there that I had, I really did raid my junk drawer for some of this stuff. Now this little blade I have here, this is something I bought years ago, and it's a Smith & Wesson knife, and I think it's supposed to be for some sort of outdoorsmanship or survival. The nice thing is it's got an area for a necklace or something here where you can hang it. It's got a whistle here that you can use, which is really good, and it functions as your basic knife. You can wear this around your neck or whatever. I've got it attached here, but it does help having that knife. The case, what we're carrying this in, I found this is a case for a razor. I kind of just had this hanging around, and this seemed to be a really good option. So you'll see in here what we've got. We've got a cleaning kit. I bought a bunch of these G96 oilers, and we've got a 22 bore snake, a pack of wooden matches. Also got some thin strips of Ranger bands here. Those can actually help with starting fire. There's another one. A little bit more cordage. Survival knife. Now this is just your basic Walmart special, but definitely works, and it gets you all the other tools, all the other basic tools you need, sort of in one package. The other thing we found was there's a zip tie here. I also included, I had this from another build, That's your ferrous rod striker, and that works with this knife. I've already tested that out. Also got some candles in here. Also got some paper clips. You can actually fashion these into hooks for fishing if you want to. Couple small straws here, and of course a couple birthday candles, which will help as well. So that is all the stuff we have for a survival kit. Again, this is just the basics. This is just making fire, providing light, and some tools. So we've got that part covered. The other thing we've got here is, of course, this is your basic Harbor Freight flashlight. Now, the bright blue, shiny, probably isn't going to help you out in the woods, but you could certainly spray paint this flat black or something else if you want. I've got this attached with a Ranger band right here. Helps keep it in place. Is it perfectly in place? Is it M-LOK? Is it key mod? Is it something else? Is it 1913 rail? No, but it does work. And again, that fits to our project. We're not going on Amazon. We're not ordering anything. We're making do with what we have. And then, of course, we have our paracord sling, of which I have tons of, and you probably have a bunch of them hanging around. So that's it. That is our kit. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Is that enough to get by out there? Do you have more in your junk drawer that you could supply? Now, the other obvious thing that I didn't put in here that you're probably asking yourself, and I know you're thinking about it right now, you're questioning, is ammo. 22 caliber is light enough that you could carry quite a bit. I would suggest for this, those small boxes of like 50 or 100, we could probably fit them in here. The only reason I don't is because different places have different local laws. Check your local laws. When we're transporting here in the Great Keystone State, ammo has to be separated from the firearm in general. But you check your local laws and you tell me what you think. Okay, folks, so that is really it. That is the net zero build for a Scavenger rifle. So we'll get out there when possible. We might give this a test, but I'll tell you, it's a 22. It's a Glenfield 60. It's going to work. But folks, that is about all I have for you today. Let me know what you think. Is the Scavenger build worth its weight? Is it significant? It's something I wanted to bring to you folks out there so you can use your head a little bit and you don't have to spread out a lot of quatloos. Keep you from heading to Amazon, keep you from hitting your wallet. I hope you got something out of this video today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I really mean that. Share this around. I'd like to hear what all of you think. If you see that hype button, hit that. And folks, we'll see you next time on the Tack Nerd Challenge. Remember to get out there and prep appropriately. Tack Nerd signing out.